Welcome everyone to another video, and in this video we are going to be featuring some battles from my own battles where I did on stream. This is my Legend Run team. This is also my favorite Ultra League team. I decided to run it in the Great League. It has many more problems in the Great League, mostly because of Skarmory. Skarmory beats all three Pokemon, and Walrein's like still very common in Open Great League, but not quite as common. I know that's very hard to believe that for those who play Open Ultra League, but not quite as common. There's less Talonflames, way less Talonflames, way more DDs, way more Stunfisk, way more Azumarill, which all Trevenant has a very positive matchup. A couple changes I do make is I do run double Shadow in Great League as opposed to single, and then I run Sludge Bomb instead of Flamethrower just because the Sludge Bomb has come really clutch sometimes. And then I typically use Shadow Skunk Tank like I do in Ultra League as the closer. I do have, I'll include a link to this, but basically a lead sheet here, basically how I play each of the leads and the counter switches. Obviously these depend on like a number of different factors, but these are just like general guides that I like to use. But let's go ahead and get started with the battles. I think I started at 29-15. These are my last 10 battles that I did. And again, oh, this one I gotta speed up a little bit here because apparently, okay, there you go. So in the mirror, there's a couple ways to play the mirror. One, you could try to catch the Shadow Ball. Is this sped up here? Nope. Okay, it is. Okay, interesting. It looks pretty slow here, but you could try to attempt to catch the Shadow Ball, but then they end up throwing the Seed Bomb there, which is kind of weird. They're at 3 right now. This is a decent matchup, but with the Seed Bomb getting thrown there, it's obviously not a great situation here. So they should be at 7 right now. I do end up shielding. And then I must have miscounted here because I thought I would outpace them to the next move, but they must have overfarmed a pretty decent amount. Because we get to 3 moves at the same time, which honestly doesn't really make too much sense. I do expect them to be weak to Poison Dark in the back, so that's why I got them to Trevenant. Also, I knew I could farm them down. And they come into, oh, they actually come into Bastion. For some reason, I threw the Seed Bomb there. I expected the Trev to come in. I was going to bait it. But this is actually perfectly fine. Yeah, this is actually totally fine here. And I'm going to throw, obviously, Shadow Ball is the correct move. Both of them are neutral, but I kind of just panicked there. And I threw the Shadow Ball. And then hoping to make it to another one. Okay. And then I do end up shielding. And let's see what I do here. I do throw the Shadow Ball right away, and then I look to switch just to make sure I get the move off. And then I switch here, and we're in a pretty decent spot. I think they try to catch here. I'm not entirely sure, but I survived this Stone Edge, no problem. Okay, I'm going to farm up basically to the max as much as I can, and all I need to do here is survive 3 Shadow Claws. The Trev is dry, and I should be able to make it to the crunch, and Shadow Skunk Tank comes absolutely clutch for me, and I'm able to take out the Trevenant there and win the matchup. These last 2 sets were kind of crazy, to be honest. So there's going to be some really good matches to be shoutcasted. I was also walking, for those that aren't familiar with how I achieve Legend, on the second Go Battle day on the Sunday of the weekend. I walked a marathon while battling. So obviously this is an extremely terrible lead. I go straight to Drapion, and I do throw the Aqua Tail. Even though they're like K9's weak to Azu, a lot of people have Sableye in the back, and that does a ton of damage. And then they actually make a very nice catch. So very nicely done by them. They're at 9 on the K9. They do, this is CMP tie because they snuck a Shadow Claw through on the switch. I let it go. And then I go into Trev here, and I'm going to do 6 Shadow Claws and throw the Seed Bomb, which should be enough to KO. Yeah, definitely going to be enough to KO. They actually, interestingly, don't throw the Foul Play right away there. And they don't even intend to shield here. Oh, they actually, okay. And then they come into Trev. Kind of a weird matchup for me because honestly, the Shadow Ball still does quite a bit to Skunk Tank. So I actually call the Seed Bomb bait. I'm not entirely sure what I was thinking in that situation. But I call it. I throw the Crunch. I get the debuff. Their K9 is quite low. I should be able to shield this. You know what I should have done? I should have shielded here because they weren't going to make it to 2. And now we actually end up, I thought the Trev was actually slightly lower than me, but we actually end up tying here, even though they had more health than me, just because the Shadow Claws do so much damage, the health difference didn't matter there. But really, realistically, I should have shielded, and farmed down and try to get the Crunch debuff, and then try to play it that way, because I wasn't quite in Seed Bomb range, so a little bit of misplay on my side. I just thought the Trev was lower, so I'm like, oh, this is pretty straightforward matchup. I can just farm down here, but that was not a right call by me. So I'm just going to speed this up here. And we got Trev. So here I instant swap because I do have 2 answers, and they decide to swap as well. And then Diggersby is absolutely terrible for the team. It beats the entire team. And this person, I lose so many mind games. I do get enough here. So they have 10. Yeah, they have 10 right now. 11. Okay, they went over 100 there. If my calculations are correct. They do end up throwing the Earthquake. I guess they go over 100 because they want to see that they got to 100. Because you get to 99, then you go to 100. But that works out pretty okay for me. And they actually decide to Earthquake me twice, and then here I miscalculated, and I thought I had one more, and I was going to CMP tie, but I actually end up surviving this by some miracle here. Actually, surviving the Fire Punch, and this is actually pretty good for me. I'm going to instant swap into Skunk Tank because I have a okay matchup against the Cresselia. I decided to go for the extra. This Moonblast is going to do quite a bit of damage. And I build up here. And I have 2 crunches. So let's see how they want to play this. The crunch isn't enough to... Oh, it is enough to KO. And they come into Sableye. Honestly, I probably should have thrown... I tried to throw on the CMP. But they don't bite on the CMP. And I actually do end up getting the crunch, which worked out pretty nicely for me. And the one foul play. Okay, they actually decide to. You know what I should have done here is I should have went to Trev, took the foul play, and then went back to Drapion. And 1 doesn't KO, and the guaranteed sneak is actually really helpful for me here. But we actually end up tying here, which was. I'll take it because the thing is, like, Cresselia had nowhere to go, but Diggersby was strong against my entire team. And then Sableye is like, even though the Dark Poisons are good against Sableye, it can be a pretty iffy matchup. So I'll take the tie. All right, then we have Trevenant versus okay. They come. So Lickitung is actually pretty bad for my team. I actually should have went into Drapion. I would have had a much better time here. But the thing is, I'm not like so worried about Switch. I do expect it to be a Bastiodon in the back. And I really needed Skunk Tank to survive these the second Body Slam. But it's definitely not going to survive the second Body Slam. So really not a fantastic situation for me. I do come into Drapion and I decide to farm. I believe I decide to farm it all the way down. So I come out with like 100 energy. I'm going to have to take 2 Body Slams. But you can see Drapion takes the Body Slams much more proficiently. Well, I take only 1 here. Takes it much more proficiently than... I think I actually lose this match here, right? So they come into DD. And I should have did 1 more there. I don't know there. I can't... Do they have a... What do they have them back? Oh, they have a Wall Rain back. Okay, this is actually really bad for me. I tried to CMP tie, which was a huge mistake on my part because I should have just thrown and then switched. And then if I would have got defense drop there, then I probably would have won. But I'm actually going to end up just barely losing this match. I should have came 1 soon. I should have thrown right away, then switched. Then I would have been in a much better spot. But they have 2 here. So I would have been able to get 1 more Shadow Claw off. Which honestly would have been really close here. It actually might have been a tie. No, they're more than one Shadow Claw health away, so ended up being a tough situation there. If I would have came Drapion into the Lickitung, I would have been in a better spot here. But you know, at this point in time, I'm on like I think I'm on like kilometer 23 or something like that. So it was quite a bit. So it's gonna speed this up a little bit because I went to take a drink of water. All right. So very good lead for me. Obviously, all three of my Pokemon are good against Defense Deoxys. And then here comes the Wall Rain. So I do like to throw the Seed Bomb. And I make a mistake here. I think on this one here, if they no shield, I should go to Skunk Tank. But I actually go, okay, what am I doing here? Because they did not get a 0-turn switch. So they don't get a seed poison like a powder snow through. So I'm like, I'll take the shield advantage, 2 shield advantage. So this is definitely an Icicle Spear. I'm gonna have to shield one anyways. So it's actually no, I guess I didn't have to shield one anyways. But I'd rather preserve the health on Drapion, and they actually come into Scrafty. I throw the Aqua Tail. And then they make a really nice play here. And I get a Poison Jab through. Oh, it's a guaranteed. So they make a really nice play and they end up catching the move. But here I'm not like overly fussed if they catch the move. Because I need 2 moves anyways. And I need 2 moves anyways to KO this thing. So I think I shield this. They actually end up Psycho Boosting me. And I try to farm up as much as I can. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to make it to another move here. But they do get less farm, which is really helpful for me. But they're actually much lower than I expected. Those Poison Jabs really added up versus Scrafty. Plus the Aqua Tail chip was really nice there. And I'm going to be able to land this next Aqua Tail. I just wanted to make sure that the Scrafty couldn't farm that much to me because I was going to definitely KO with an Aqua Tail. So Scrafty is really problematic for this team, but I was able to come out with the win. So I actually ended up having 2 wins, 2 ties, and then one loss. So it was the same thing as the 3-2. And then here, this is actually my second. I actually didn't realize this. This is actually my 20th set of Go Battle Day. So actually I banked 1 set, so I actually had 1 extra one. So I lagged there at the beginning, which is unfortunate. And so they should be at 7 right now, I think. Okay, no, or maybe I didn't lag. I don't know. Or I don't know. It looked like I lagged there because I took a Shadow Claw on, and they come into Needle Queen, and this is actually really, really good for me because these Aqua Tails really add up. And then I tried to CMP tie on one of these. I can't remember. Let's see what happens. I think I actually ended up getting the CMP tie. Actually, no. I let this go. No, I don't. This is a different game I was thinking about. They end up Earth Powering me. I would have lived the Poison Fang, so that's why I let it go. And I'm going to farm. I'm going to bank the move here and then look to switch into Skunk Tank. And then I'm going to be able to farm down, get some energy on Skunk Tank, only taking the Poison Jab damage. And I have a Seed Bomb banked. And this is looking pretty good for me. They actually come back into Sableye, I guess hoping for me to throw. Or that they make it to move. I'm not entirely sure. I do 1 and I see the Azumarill. And you love to see it. You love to see it. They obviously have to no shield there in case I get a crunch debuff or I don't have Sludge Bomb. So that's 100% the correct call. And there wasn't really too much in that situation once I had a Sludge Bomb because I would just reach another one, and with the Poison Jab damage, it was going to KO. So I need a 5-0 in this set to clinch it. So obviously, Sableye lead is very bad. So 2 Sableye leads on a set that I need to go 5-0 is obviously not great. I do throw the crunch. So I believe they need 2 more for the next one. So they should get it right here. They actually choose not to throw at an efficient time to avoid getting crunched again. So here I just need to land 2 Aqua Tails. So here I do 4, and then they're needing 2 more. So then I do 1 more in Aqua Tail because they're not going to shield this because the crunch doesn't KO. And now Now they need one more after this to make it to the sky attack. Actually, no, they got to move through. I don't know. I'm not sure what happened there. But anyways, I'm going to let this go, and I'm going to Shadow Claw all the way down. And they make an interesting play here by going straight back into Sableye. And I throw the Shadow Ball. We do quite a bit of damage, so they elect to shield. And here I decide to shield, hoping that they throw the return. They do end up throwing the return. I think I do 5 more or 3 more. Or I do 4 more just to be safe. And I throw the foul play. I don't want to take a foul play on my Skunk Tank because it's quite low. And here this is a okay situation for me. They do have energy on Skarmory, so I couldn't farm it down. And then they have a Azumarill, so this is a really good situation here. Even if they take out my Skunk Tank before I get to move, I still have Trev with quite a bit of energy. And then the poison jabbers they took, it was obviously a lot. And I actually think they had Play Rough here. Oh, they have an Ice Beam. Okay, well, this is game over anyways. I'm going to be able to farm down. So it worked out really nicely for me. So we beat 2 Sableye leads in the final set. I need to hit Legend. Well, not need to hit Legend. Well, the Legend and have my room for a Libre set, which I guess is not like overly critical, but still some very good battles so far. All right, and we have, okay, this is a very good lead. A lot of times I do expect the Sableye Safe Switch. This is such a common Safe Switch I had to play out. And I kind of mix it up here, to be honest. A lot of times they like to bait. Sometimes they shield, sometimes they don't. Depends on what they do here. They end up shielding, so I'm going to let this go. If they return me, that's okay too. They end up foul playing me. So I do throw the Crunch. What I don't like necessarily always shielding this matchup, even though the switch is really nice here. The switch is not overly critical. But I let this go. This is going to be a foul play. And then I'm going to go to Skunk Tank and farm all the way down. I do end up shielding the... Do they end up getting... Yeah, I do end up shielding. Because they should have enough for the return. Oh, no. Okay, they come into AWAC. They're quite low on the Sableye. So I do get the first shield. The Bone Club wouldn't KO here, but I'm not 100% sure I'd make it to the move. So I do throw the Crunch. I am dry here. I only have 1 energy left. But I would be able to make it to the Sludge Bomb. I would be able to make it. I should be able, okay, we end up lagging a little bit here, which is really unfortunate. I do end up making to the Sludge Bomb because even the 1 residual energy means I can make it. And I'm in a very good spot here. I do switch out into the Trev here. Do expecting them to switch out to Sableye and gives my best chance to farm down. They end up play roughing me. And then I ended up Seed Bomb. I could have Shadow Claw down, but it really didn't matter at this point in time. And I was going to be able to win the game. And now we're 3-0. So I feel pretty decent here. I obviously feel pretty horrible because I've walked like 25, 27 kilometers or something at this point in time. So I've walked quite a bit of... and we're going against another legend player here. So I do like to switch here, but you can catch. You just take so much damage. They come into Goon here, which is obviously really, really bad for me. Goon obviously beats all three of my Pokemon. But they end up Night Slashing here. I actually didn't notice they were Night Slashing because I'm pretty tired at this point in time. So I guess my Drapion definitely wouldn't take 2 cross chops, or I'm not entirely sure here. And I throw this and actually immediately swap into Skunk Tank. No, I don't immediately swap into Skunk Tank. They do farm me down. And I come to Skunk Tank and actually choose not to shield this. Yeah, and they end up being a Night Slash, which I didn't notice there until again. I didn't actually notice they were throwing Night Slashes until then. And this is a pretty good... They actually come into... this is a very interesting play. They come into the Trev versus my Skunk Tank. So they must have something very good against the back. This might be just a Seed Bomb now that I look at it. Yeah, it definitely was just a Seed Bomb. But now they have a Shadow Wall Rain. So in the 1-0 shield, you should just Shadow Ball it because the Shadow Ball almost KOs. And this is a CMP tie. So I'm just gonna let it go because I'm gonna be able to farm this down and take out the Trevenant, no problem. And my puppy is very excited here. Gonna be able to take it out. And I believe I have one last game here. So I'm 4-0 right now. Feeling pretty decent here. I know I'm like either 3-0 or 4-0 at this point in time. So, and this is a little bit of a roller coaster going against roller coaster. Very good lead here. Two of my Pokemon are very good against it. I do expect the Sableye Stay Switch. It's so common with Azu. It's extremely common. And I throw the Crunch. And sometimes Sableye is their hard answer to it. So I do end up shielding and end up being the return. So end up being really nice for me. So I do throw before they make it to a foul play. I'm not 100% sure they shield this or not. They don't end up shielding us. So I do want to get out because I know there's likely another ghost in the back. So I throw at 7 here. And I'm looking to switch out to Trev. Or to Trev here. I do get the defense drop. But it doesn't matter. They like to throw the Ice Beam. But I do expect there to be a hard answer. Oh, they actually throw the player off here. I do expect there to be a hard answer in the back. And them throwing the player, not having the Ice Beam was actually really critical for me in this match. Because it allowed me to get to this Shadow Ball. Which they end up shielding. And I throw the Crunch here. Because I know in CMP versus the Marowak. And I'm going to let this go. Because I'm going to close this out with Skunk Tank. And they don't elect to undercharge because obviously they don't know where the back. I lag a little bit here, but this is fine. They definitely went over, right? So I'm going to just farm just a little bit here because they're definitely not a double. And I want to be able to be in a Sludge Bomb before they make it to a move. So I need to go 1 over. And I go over the perfect amount over. And the Sludge Bomb is going to be enough to KO here. Right before they make it to a player off, which would certainly KO my very squishy Skunk Tank. So I end up hitting Legend on this set here. And I actually think I show this in a little bit here. We have a Zapdos here. We get a great throw. Very nice. And telling Cindy here, I think this is Legend, which she's getting all excited. And we hit Legend. On a 5-0 set, I am super happy at this point in time because I really needed a break. And once I hit Legend, I was going to let Cindy do her Libre set because she had hit Legend the day before or 2 days before, way before me. Anyways, this team here definitely has some problems with Skarmory, Diggersby, and it is a very fragile team. There's a lot of charge moves thrown. If you really like energy management and like kind of game planning, this is definitely a team for you. If you like just like hard countering your opponent, then this team is likely not for you. If you like facing Defense Deoxys and like Azumarill, then this team is really good for you. If you don't like facing Skarmory, Diggersby, Walrein, a number of other Pokemon, then this team is probably not for you. But it worked pretty well for me, so I'm gonna leave it here. If you like, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see everyone in the next video.